I guess I'm morally obligated to make this video now. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. And before I get into what you probably came here for, let me just give a quick thanks to all of you for the support on my decision video. And, well, I did say I was going to make this video if you liked that one, and that's what you did. And so this is what I do. I also said that I might procrastinate on this one, and I did that too. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get right to it. As a quick disclaimer first, please take everything in this video with a grain of salt because, well, the reality is the application process is pretty different for everyone. I mean, your schools, your opportunities, you name it, are all factored into the process. And so if you feel like your experience may be different from mine, or maybe that you don't get the same out of your circumstances, that's completely okay, because what matters most to colleges is that they see you take the opportunities that you do have, not really comparing it to what someone else might have from somewhere else. And also, well, I'm not an expert. So I'm going to be basing everything today literally off the Common App. I have my script right in front of me. That's why you probably see me looking down sometimes. But this is I literally went through my Common App PDF that I submitted to colleges again. And everything that I have here is from that. So if you're applying through the Common App, then great. If not, I don't know how much it's going to help you, but it's really just general things. So maybe we'll see. Yeah. And because of that, I also want to say that this is in order of what is listed on the Common App. So there's not really anything particular about whatever I say first is more important or anything like that. So there you go. Right. So first, I put down that I speak, or as Common App wants you to put down, as fluent, 3 different languages. That being English, obviously, Mandarin, and Spanish, which I took Spanish for 6 years in school, including the APA test, and to prove fluency, I actually did get 5s on both Spanish and AP Chinese, so there you go. Yeah, I put first language, which it doesn't make sense, but I mean, it is true. My first language is English and Chinese, because that's what I speak at home. And then I put for Spanish is that I speak, read, and write. Next is what I did over my summers in high school. Now, to some, this may be important, to some, maybe not so much, but I didn't go over the top, but let's just go through it. To start, I actually didn't do anything freshman summer. Yeah, I was just lazy. My bad. The following year, however, I did do one of those pre-college programs. It was the one at Harvard. It was for 2 weeks, and it was actually not for credit. And to be honest, it's more of a, feel like what college is going to be like experience, not really a education experience. I really wouldn't go expecting to learn much. And to be honest, it's probably really not that great. Well, okay, not great isn't the right word, but not that helpful on Common App or your application. There's definitely a lot more other things that you can do in the summer that will probably help me more, but that's what I did. That's what I put. And then last year, this is a bit more, it's still kind of the same category. This would be my junior year summer. I did another pre-college course, but this time it was actually took a college course with college students for 6 weeks, and it actually gave me college credit. And that might be a bit more helpful or a bit more outstanding on your application than just the 2-week course that I took. That one was at BU. So yeah. Now, that's really all I did in summers, and all in all, I would recommend doing something academic. I mean, of course, it's summer vacation, go relax. But if you're gonna do something that you want to put on your application, related to academics maybe, and definitely don't overstretch yourself and fill every day with dawn dusk, because you have a life and you have other stuff to do, and the last thing you want to do, like I said, during summer vacation is more school. But really just find something you can do that's worthwhile. And to prove to these colleges that you were in fact not a couch potato for 3 months. And I do want to add that last year I did apply to RSI, which is a really, really, really prestigious summer research opportunity, and well, I was rejected. But apply to whatever you want, and it will also get you prepared for the amount of applying you'll do for colleges, which sucks. Next is my class rank. Now, unfortunately, my school actually did not do that. They did do, valedictorian, salutatorian, but after that, they didn't. So I actually don't know what my class rank is, and evidently I was not either of those two top ones. But I can say that my school did do a GPA out of 5, where normal classes they top out at 4, and if you took an honors class or an AP, they weight it to a 5. And I applied to college, which is my end of junior year, with a 4.4913, which is good, but I will say the max for junior year at my school is in the 4.6. So, I mean, do what you want to do with that information. That being said, I did end up taking 15 AP courses at my school. I took 16 exams, and which is one outside on my own time, which I think was the most out of anyone in my year. So yeah, it was a lot. Clearly, I know many of my teachers will give me the hairy eye for doing that much, and I would agree. And I think my school offers maybe around 18 AP courses, give or take. But definitely don't let this overwhelm you. If you're still, choosing courses, choose what might challenge you, but also don't overload yourself. Think about your other daily obligations that you might have, and if your school doesn't offer many challenging courses, just do the best you can, and maybe add some stuff outside of school that you can do. And yeah, definitely colleges will take note of that. But also don't slack and take a really easy course when you are far better than that. A B plus in an honors AP class is much better than the same class, but college prep level with an A. So next up is my awards. So to be honest, I actually didn't have that many. I received the President's Volunteer Medal twice, once for bronze and once for silver. I'll talk more about volunteering later, but I put that down, and I also put down that I was an NHS member, which, if I'm being honest, NHS, it's one of those things that sounds cool, but it's really just that. I mean, many people I'm sure have that title, and that title really doesn't have much room to make you outstanding if you're going for the top, if you know what I mean. But I mean, obviously, if you can't find anything else, then definitely put it. But I'm just saying, if you have better stuff, then you should probably put that ahead. And in addition to my 2 APs in the languages, I also took my state's seal of biliteracy for those 2 languages, and well, I got silver for both. Was like two levels off gold, which is really sad, but whatever. And being who I am, which is a math nerd, I was part of my school's math team, and I put that we earned 3 consecutive third place teams at our state competition every year, and that was, I guess, pretty cool. We got beat out by 2 really try-hard schools, so nothing I can do about that. Let's see. Oh, yes. And, well, if you haven't known already, Common App only allows 5 honors, as they call it, 5 awards, whatever. And last one I put was that I was the top scorer in American Computer Science League, ACSL, in my division last year. Top individual score. Cool. Now, I will mention on the Common App, it will ask you to actually label each of these awards or honors as I think it's like where does it extend to? Like local, regional, statewide, national, something like that. And obviously the more, widespread it is, the better. So just, keep that in mind when you're going for these things. I would rather advise against putting awards that come, say, just from your school, as, colleges, they want to see you engaging outside of your community, since they presumably already know what you do inside. Now, extracurriculars. So for volunteering, I stuck to one organization throughout my 4 years at high school, where I was also a media manager. And this specific organization, just to give you a brief, I guess, summary of what I do, it was a once a month type, where we go to a local charity home and we prepare meals for families that, they don't have that time to do so. And it's definitely not much, but it is something you can definitely gain a good experience from, and maybe like I did, turn it into some essay topics. Next, I attended my school's FBLA club for 1 year. Wasn't really interested. I mean, absolutely nothing on the club. It's actually a really well organized club in my school. Just it wasn't for me, and that's okay. Colleges want to see you trying to find your passion in high school and trying new things out, and showing your courage to stop and drop something if it's not right for you. That doesn't mean drop everything, because that's not. Let's have some common sense. Yeah. And next, and maybe my most favorite, was partaking in my school's paid orchestra, where I played the keyboard and we covered our school's theater's annual musical, which is really fun. It's a small group and it's all like very good musicians from our school. And fun fact, although I did not include this in my app, but I thought might as well include it here. We are the only fully student um, consisting band that covers their respective schools' musical in our state. Nice. Next, for sports, I only played one throughout my whole high school, and that was tennis. I was varsity each year, starting in doubles 3 freshman year as a swing, and retaining singles 3 for every other year. We went on to be runners-up in D2 first year, then we won D2 the next year. Last year, we were runners-up in D1, and this year, although it didn't fit in my app because our tennis season ended in the spring, and that's way past applying, we won D1, which was actually our school's first tennis D1, which was also crazy. I also earned some individual performances when I was playing, so I guess I put those on there too. And lastly, these are all going to be clubs, and it is a lot, but I'll explain a bit more after. I was our school's Model United Nations team co-captain, our computer science club co-captain, our student council co-president, and our math team captain. And yes, like I said, it's a lot, and that's where balance comes into play. Yes, the titles are great, but you also need to show balance. If you are just, members of clubs but can demonstrate balance between each, that's fine too. If you're just in one club and you're the leader, that's also a form of balance. And likewise, don't include clubs that aren't, really academic, so to say. You can certainly be a part of those clubs, but just maybe don't include them. Like, as much as you might enjoy, say, hiking club or something like that, maybe don't include it if you have better, more academic ones, And, last thing on the Common App is the big one, although, I would say nuance on the word big, because every piece on your app really means something. So even if one isn't strong, if others are, then it helps bring it back up. Anyways, if you couldn't guess already, it's my personal essay. And I wrote my personal essay about refereeing youth soccer games in my state and how I've grown from it. Was it the most dramatic, heartbreaking story? No. Was it over the top? No. Did it tell something about me that wasn't really mentioned elsewhere in the app and was meaningful? Yeah. And that's what matters. I'm not saying don't write something dramatic or whatever. If you have that, then go ahead. But just be mindful to choose something that isn't in the rest of your app that tells another part about who you are. Because that's what this essay is for. It's literally a blank canvas, and you can share anything you like. Kind of like a last minute pitch to the rest of your app. Just make it worthwhile to your readers. Alright? That's all I can say. If you're gonna write something over the top, if you're good with writing, which I'm not, I can say that, so that's why I really didn't do it. But if you're good at writing and you're good with words, you can put a spin on the words, then go for it. I think that's a great skill to have, definitely. I'm very jealous of that. But just remember to also include parts that show how you developed. You can have a great story can be a best-selling author story. But if it doesn't show character development of yourself, it's worthless on the Common App. Might be worth it somewhere else in the industry, but on the Common App, not so much. And really, that's everything on the app that you need to know about. I'll end with some other things that I think might be worth your time. Starting with that, I did not include two, I would say, somewhat important items. That being, I was in our state's junior and senior all-state violin, and I also served 2 years as my class president. Now, I'm not saying these are not important. In fact, they're quite great to have. But, it just didn't fit in my app, and I had no choice but to leave it out. And that's okay as well. It gave me good experience for other things that I didn't know already, and I think that's already enough. If I had room, I would have definitely put it. And same goes for you if you have something like this. But if it doesn't, like in my case, it's okay to not. Next are some things I would like to call semi-included because some colleges actually give you the opportunity to attach your resume or portfolio or whatever it may be. And while a lot of it might, include stuff that you've already included on the app, which is why, most colleges don't do that, it's still an opportunity to try to sneak in some extra information because why not? On there, notably, I did include that I emphasis on try to do YouTube, clearly because I suck at uploading, purely for fun. I literally put YouTube for fun, not like YouTube for business, not YouTube for money, literally for fun. And that's because I'm just trying to show that I exist outside of academics. And tying it to the next item, I included different hobbies that I have, and these were just one-liners. I didn't give any explanation of what I did. I just literally just put I like biking. I like trains. That's literally it. And it's literally there because I enjoy it, and I just want to show them that I have a life outside of school. Yeah, and I can include it on these extra attachments because that's what they're for. If the app only gives you room for academics, give that. And if they give you room to showcase yourself outside, and only if they do, don't try to squeeze that stuff into academic part. If they don't give you the room, then I'd say do it. Lastly, I would say use the resources that you have. I know my counselor was a great resource in confirming my college list and just talking about anything college related. Teachers also want you to succeed. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you're watching this and are in the early years of high school, get to know your teachers well and see who can get along with. They'll be, quite helpful when applying. And what I mean by that, for example, is that my 2 recommendation letters from teachers were both teachers I had all 4 years in my high school and teach subjects that I enjoy. Ooh, should change. Took a shower. My bad. Anyways, continuing, if you thought I forgot, which I'm going to be honest, I actually kind of almost did. That's why it's at the end of the video. My final SAT that I submitted was a 1520. It was not a super score, although it was the same. It would have been the same if I super scored. But yeah, it was my third and last SAT attempt, and I got a 730 in English, and well, you can do the math for the math part. And it's good to point out that many times you hear how these prestigious colleges are, they're all about SAT, and like Columbia, which is what I got in. And if I'm honest, when I heard those comments, when I've been hearing those comments, I would consider myself on the low end for those scores. And, it didn't feel great, but I still gave it a shot. And what do you know? Look at that. I got into Columbia, which I hope can prove to you that it's not all about the SAT. And it is, in fact, they do look at your whole application. Sure, don't apply to some of these schools with like a 600 SAT. That's not a good idea. But I'm just saying that if it's in the range, it's in the range, and the range is there for a reason. And I hope that I can be a proof to you that anything is really possible. Almost anything. Let's say that. I mean, you wouldn't be spending so long on an application if it wasn't more than just a goofy blue book score. But I mean, that being said, like I said, don't go flop your SAT. Know where your range is, know what schools' ranges are, and just do your best. And I'm just really trying to emphasize again to balance every part of your application. Now, if you have something on your application that's really strong, then show it, obviously, but know that your whole application is considered, and they literally do probably take in every part to at least a pretty equal amount. And also, stay organized. I think it's really helpful. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually helped me a lot. And it can be really simple. I just used Google Sheets, and that was enough. It was really helpful, especially when it came to all the essays that I had to do. Especially if you're planning to apply to, a lot of colleges like I did, and there's a lot of essays to do. Keeping something or having something that can help you keep track of these essays, and maybe like, I've completed my first draft. I've need to revise. No progress yet. It's done. Whatever. Just something like that. Something really simple can make the process feel easier. Can make yourself feel better. And honestly, it was pretty satisfying when I got to see the full list turn green. And yeah. Also, I'm gonna say prepare yourself for rejection. It should be pretty obvious, but sometimes it comes. I don't want to say unexpected, but just comes like that, and it can be hard. It can be demoralizing, but it's literally part of the process. I went through it. Everyone who applies basically goes through it, and chances are you will too, and that's normal. Just know that. And yeah. And lastly, I swear it's last. I believe that the most important thing is that you should believe. If you have safety or target schools and still have room and the energy to apply to other schools that are, reaches, as some people might call them, go for it. Go for it. Literally go for it. Because, well, you'll never know until you try, right? That's literally what happened to me, and look what happened. And with that, that's actually the end of the video, basically. If I've missed anything, please let me know down in the comments, and I will try to respond without giving away stuff that, I'd, let's say, rather not say. And as a heads up, if you, ask for my essay contents or a specific essay or something, chances are you're gonna be ghosted, so just keep that in mind. Only like general questions. Sorry, but not sorry. Anyways, thanks for watching. Check out these videos on screen if you haven't already. It would be really appreciated if you subscribed if you haven't already, and like the video. And hopefully, I've been planning to have this out on August 1st, which is when the Common App opens, I think. So we'll see if that actually turns out to be the case. If not, well, no surprise there. But anyways, I will see you at the end of August for Movement Day. Peace.